Victor Von Doom, Monarch of Latveria and genius-level supervillain, is perhaps one of the most ravenously awaited inclusions into the MCU, with many fans counting down the days until his inevitable arrival. For months, it has been widely speculated that his debut will be in the post-credit scene of Wakanda Forever, revealing that he was the true puppet master behind the conflict between Talocan and Wakanda. And this was based on a leaked previs documentation from Marvel Studios. Recently, however, various industry insiders have begun to claim that Doom's debut, which had been planned for the Wakanda Forever post-credit scene, may have been cut from the theatrical release of the post-credit scene of Wakanda Forever. And despite Marvel's initial plans to introduce the dictator of Doomistat, they have since abandoned this idea in favor of placing him in a different debut project. But why exactly is this? Why would Marvel abandon the debut of one of their most iconic villains so late in the production process? Well, stick with us today, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and let's cover not only what the leaks claim, but why this might make sense going forward, as well as which projects we believe Doctor Doom is most likely to appear in the future, and why. Perhaps the two most reputable sources are Big Screen Leaks and LRM Online, though they are not the only two sources to claim this. Despite this, however, it's important to remember that this is still a rumor as of now, and none of this has been officially confirmed as of yet. However, it is looking very likely that Doom was cut from Wakanda Forever. First, let's begin with what the post-credit scene most likely would have been, and break down a lot of the leaks and rumors regarding Doctor Doom's debut. Based on the aforementioned previs shots, it seems to reveal that whatever is set to take place between Namor and the Kingdom of Wakanda is actually due to the behind-the-scenes manipulation of Doom. This would mean that Namor most likely has been tricked or lied to with the hope that he might be coaxed into ultimately attacking Wakanda, with it possible that narratively this is still the case. If Marvel Studios wrote the script with the intention of Doom being a behind-the-scenes player, then the story can still play out the same way, only with the reveal taking place later down the line in Marvel's pipeline. He may still very well be responsible, but we don't know for sure until he does eventually pop up and debut in the MCU. So then, why exactly did they cut this scene? The predominant explanation is due to the nature of this particular film and the circumstances behind its production. What sets this movie apart from other Marvel projects in its repertoire is the looming shadow of Chadwick Boseman's tragic loss, which has been following this production since his passing, and his loss has been felt across both the MCU and the fanbase alike. Due to this, it has become quite evident that this film is a love letter to the late actor, and this project is more than just a movie. Wakanda Forever will not only follow the grief of the characters after losing T'Challa, but it will chronicle the very real-life grief felt by the actors and crew members who lost a close friend and an icon. The pain and emotion injected into this film goes far beyond simply acting, and despite not being present in the movie, this film will very much be about Chadwick. Introducing one of Marvel's most iconic villains in this of all projects might be done in poor taste, and it runs the risk of overshadowing the passion and care put into this movie by so many incredibly talented and highly dedicated filmmakers who are doing this to honor their late friend. If Doom does make his debut, then this would likely be the largest talking point coming out of Wakanda Forever, rather than allowing the focus to remain on honoring Chadwick Boseman and the legacy that he's left behind for so many. So then, if he is still set to make his debut, just not in Wakanda Forever, then where might he finally pop up in the MCU, and where will we see Doctor Doom for the first time? Well, for this, there are two primary possibilities as to which project will be the first to feature the MCU's iteration of Doom, and we believe that we can narrow it down. First, let's discuss the possibility that he'll show up in Ironheart. The plot synopsis for Ironheart proposes that this project will follow the clashing applications of science and magic, pitting the two against one another and detailing the rivalry between them, as well as their respective users. This incredibly complicated conflict would be difficult for most characters to navigate, as many fall firmly into one camp or the other, technology or magic. Doctor Strange, Wong, and the Sorcerers of Kamar-Taj fall firmly on the side of sorcery, while the likes of Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Bruce Banner, and many more are definitively dedicated to the practice of science, while people like Thor might fall somewhere in the middle. Doctor Doom, however, is an avid practitioner of both, and is perhaps one of the most skilled users of both talents in tandem with one another. Doom has the scientific prowess to rival the likes of Stark Industries, as well as the magical know-how to stand up to many of the Kamar-Taj's finest. If this conflict is set to be at the forefront of Ironheart, then this would be the perfect debut and project for Doctor Doom to appear in, who seeks to exploit both skills for his own personal gain. This is before even mentioning that Riri Williams herself is making her debut in Wakanda Forever, and will even suit up at some point in the film, carrying the events of Wakanda Forever directly into her own solo project. If Doom was meant to make his debut here, then his actions and the events of Wakanda Forever might influence the events of Ironheart and her series, wherein he is already scheduled to make a bigger impact. The second project, and next most likely to debut, is the Armor Wars film, and this is a logical choice for a few different reasons. Until recently, the Don Cheadle-led project was scheduled to be a Disney Plus original series following another 6-episode arc, instead of making a formal theatrical run. Now we know that it's been promoted to a feature film, which has left some to ask, is there anything behind the scenes as to why this is? One fan favorite explanation is something that in Armor Wars is big enough to warrant a theatrical debut, as something within the series deserves to be showcased on the big screen. But as to what, we don't currently know, but we think we might have a good idea. Some believe this means that Tony Stark will return as an AI program, but another popular explanation is that Marvel is planning the debut of the fan favorite character of Doom in Armor Wars. If Doom makes his debut in the next few months, then it stands to reason that it won't be in a Disney Plus series, and Marvel would hopefully show Victor enough respect to showcase him in an MCU feature project. This is before mentioning the potential box office ramifications that would most certainly result from Doom's inclusion in Armor Wars. The plot to Armor Wars also helps to support this theory, as it's set to showcase the ramifications of Tony Stark's technology being left behind after his demise. We know that Rhodey will have to deal with the aftermath of Tony's death, including tracking down various relics and gadgets which have been stolen and repurposed by various different entities. While there is no shortage of individuals who would love to get their hands on Stark tech, seeing Doom buy one of them and play one of the main antagonists not only would be incredible for fans, but also in the universe as well. Doom would likely be more than happy to collect as many Stark components as he can in order to study Tony's gear, and use it to augment his own, using both magic and science in tandem together once again. Or perhaps Doom will appear as a friend in order to help Rhodey, and then later turn his back on him later down the line in the Marvel Universe. But anyway, my friends, when do you think Doom will make his debut? If it's not in Wakanda Forever, then will it be in Ironheart, Armor Wars, or elsewhere in Phase 5? Assuming this is true, do you think Marvel made the right choice in cutting this scene in order to preserve the emotional impact of Chadwick's tribute? As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.